was talking to her a bit today about her being motivated and just like having comparisons with all these other people that are in digital marketing, that she wants and needs advice on how to keep going when you're feeling discouraged by constant income claims. And when you post, your posts don't get any comments or likes, but people who don't even seem genuine get a ton of leads and follows. When my posts are slow, sometimes I have like days, sometimes I'll have like a straight week where it just seems like there's not a lot going on. And sometimes you can tell and know that it's not just you, because like what I'll do, like I have promo and Girls Gone Faceless where I can post 4 times a day. That gives me 4 different opportunities to post in different times and try different types of posts, whether it's a short post, a long post, I story tell, I talk about this or talk about that, to see which one of them is going to do well and do good. I'll have days where like all of those posts flop, and so then I'm like, is it me? And a very simple way for me to see if it's me is to go into the group and then filter the post into new posts, just to go and see like the past post of 24 hours and see how the engagement is on everybody else's post. Is every post not getting anything? Because there are some days that like people are just not they're not there, like they're not online, they don't care about really, it seems like, anything. And I've noticed that in groups, like just sometimes posts just do not do well, and it's not necessarily anything that anyone's doing wrong. People are watching because if you have a post that doesn't get a lot of engagement, even in like the first day, that doesn't mean that it's not going to pop off later in the week, or that it's going to pop off in 3 days. One thing that Ange does a lot, and I've been starting to do, that I've noticed does help as well, is if, let's say I go and post a promo post in a group and I'm not seeing a lot of people engaging with it, and then several other people have made posts and mine's kind of getting drowned out by other people's promo, go in every couple hours and bump your post. And what I mean by that is you literally just comment on your own post. Now I used to be very cringy, literally like within the last few days, and like put bump on my post like a weirdo, but then I'm like, why am I doing that? Like, why don't I just like bump my post with like a testimonial photo or like a relevant question to what you posted? How much promo am I buying? How many groups? So I have promo. Hello, Spanish.
Bam!
So I pay for promo in Girls Gone Faceless, I pay for promo in Digital Product Babes, and I pay for promo in Faceless Digital Marketing. So 3 groups I pay for promo. When it comes to paying for promo, if anybody hasn't done that or they're thinking if they want to do that, I will tell you, don't rush into joining groups and just buying any and all promo that you can. Stay in the group for a while. I cannot with you. Stay in the group for a while until you decide that you want to like pay for promo. Like, what are you seeing in the posts that are going on in the groups? Are they getting engagement? Are there newbies that are making their own post and getting information from people? Is it just a group where it's promo, and nobody's even like asking for freebies? That's one of the biggest things, is if you go into a group and there are people posting that they have a freebie available and nobody wants it, you need to get up out that group. That group is trash.com. But yeah, just stick around and be observant. See what you like about what's going on in the group before you're like, okay, this group has people that are engaging and authentic and like there's stuff going on and I would pay for promo there. And also, one of the things I've learned recently, do not buy promo any longer than like 2 to 3 months at a time, because things change. There could be a group that is like doing super duper awesome, super well, and it's just not the group to be in the next 3 months. And then if you bought a year of promo or 6 months of promo, you're stuck with that. You're stuck with trying to make that work. You know what I mean? Promo a month in Girls Gone Faceless is $50. I bought a package for 6 months for $200. which is worth it to me because that is one of the main groups that I do promo in, but I get better results personally. I'm not saying this is going to work for everybody, but I get better results personally from other groups. Digital Product Babes, I think, was at 130. I think it was 130 for 3 months. Digital Product Babes was one of the more expensive groups to get promo in. However, 100% worth it. Digital Product Babes, if D watches this or if D's in here or whatever, like, is like the digital marketing group you need to be in. There are so many people in there that are new, that want to learn. People are engaging in those posts. It is an amazing group. And then the Faceless Digital Marketing group, that has about 40,000 in there now, I believe. That was the cheapest promo. I think it's $19 a month, but they have to have spots open. And then I think I got a discounted rate for 2 months. You don't have to be an author or a great writer. I allow myself every day to be inspired by other people and other things that are doing well. Not copying people, but just taking note of what you see in groups or on your feed of posts that are doing well and how you can fit their post to be similar to something in your story. You can use ChatGPT and give it a couple key points and ask it to write you a storytelling Facebook post and what you want that post to do. Do you want it to attract people to a link? Do you want it to increase your following or have them friend request you? What is it you want that post to do? And now I wouldn't ever just copy and paste straight from ChatGPT and then just rework that wording, but then at least it kind of gives you a starting point, and you can just use ChatGPT for free. You don't have to have a paid version to do stuff like that. And talking about staying motivated, seeing other people's income claims, people that don't seem to be putting in as much work, getting the engagement and the sales and things like that. And one of the things that I just wanted to remind her was that, you know, in any social media, we choose what we are presenting to the world. And for 95% of people, that is going to be the things that make us look the best, look the most successful, look the most clean cut, right? You know what I mean? It is rare that there are people, and not that they're being fake, because most people want to look and appear their best, but it's rare for people to show all sides, right? I come on here and I'm very raw, I'm very real, very authentic and genuine with my story. But there are still parts of that I'm not showing you guys. Like, I do show and tell you guys the ins and outs of things. But I'm not going to come on here every day that I'm having a slower day, or maybe I don't make as much sales as I want to, or I'm having to put more work in to get certain engagement, and talk about that more than my success. And so what I wanted to remind her is that these people that maybe already have come off ingenuine, or that they're not putting in as much work and they're getting posts that have a lot of engagement and stuff, you don't know what's going on behind the closed doors of that. When those people who have engaged with the post go into the DMs of the person who posted and they start having conversation or asking questions or going into where they would lead them to a sale, that person more than likely is going to get that vibe and get that feeling that that person is not very authentic and is probably not going to lead to a sale. So when you see those posts with, you know, the engagement that you wish you had or the comments that you wish you had, it's really going back to basics and remembering to not focus on the numbers. The numbers don't necessarily mean anything. You could have a post with 192 comments that person maybe got like 3 sales from. They may have got no sales from it, because it's about the whole journey of your relationship with that person, your connection with that person, the way you market yourself. You know, if a person has a post that did really well with people interested, and there's 226 people interested in what they're posting about, but they haven't put that work in prior to do their branding and market themselves, to have that trust established subconsciously have that trust with that person, they're less likely to buy whatever's going to be presented because that post might have been good, but they don't have any other posts or comments they've seen from that person to back up what they're seeing. Does that make sense? Social media is, it's kind of like with news articles and blogs and politics and whatever. Like, you see what people allow you to see. And it doesn't mean that they're successful. There's people out there faking income claims. There's people out there stealing, people's content. Another great example. My friend Catherine sent me a message the other day because I had posted that status where I put I've sold 15 DBA in 3 days. How did I do it branding? How did I learn how to brand DBA? People were over on Threads with that exact same post. And I'm not on Threads super often. And yeah, I got a message and there was 3 people that had the exact, not changed at all, my exact post, word for word, copy and pasted over on Threads. And I'm not on Threads a lot. I'll go over there now and then, try to treat it like Twitter and post a status. But I'm not really doing a lot of engagement or things like I am on Facebook. I would have never caught that. I'm not on Threads like that. And there was nothing I could do about it. But my point is that, let's say this person that Casey saw that had a successful post with a lot of engagement, they may have went and just literally copy and pasted somebody else's post that they saw do well to use as their own, got all those comments because it was a good post, but they don't have those skills to back up that good post, and they're probably not getting sales from it. There's so many different ways that could go. So seeing posts that do well or seeing a lot of people interested does not mean it's resulting in success. It's really a gut thing. You see somebody posting and they're getting good engagement, but you don't really get the best vibes from them, they're probably not doing as good as you think they are. And don't compare that to your capability of what you can do, because most of you that are here and you're on my page or you're in my mentorship or you bought DBA and got in my mentorship, you're learning the correct way to do things, to lay that foundation for your business that is going to give you those skills, teach you how to brand, to where people get that subconscious trust with you because of the posts they see from you, the comments they see from you, and the ways you're engaging. It's all a collective thing, So, yeah, I think a lot of what, she was venting about on my post really lined up with imposter syndrome, where you just kind of get into digital marketing, or you haven't gotten into it maybe yet, and you just feel well, who am I to be doing this when there's this, and this person doing it or offering it. And I've been talking about this a lot this week about one of the easiest ways to brand and to start off differentiating yourself is to use your story. And I had another person say, well, a lot of people that are using their story, they end that story with some sort of something tying it to success that they've had. And they're like, well, what if I haven't had success? Or, what if I don't have this much money to show I'm making, or these many sales to show that I'm making? In the beginning, you don't have to end your story with success. And success doesn't have to mean money. Success can mean growing a certain amount of followers. It could mean having a reach with your post of 1,000 people. Small success or big success is still success, and it does not have to be an income that you're generating. It could be, I made a genuine connection and had a good conversation with X amount of people by implementing this, and this that I learned from DBA, or I learned from this guide I bought. You can show behaviors that you're establishing and what those results are doing for you from your metrics, from your connections, and use different things outside of income. Yeah, everybody's success is different. Just because people see that you're not making money, or you can relate to people in so many different types of ways. Not everybody is even doing this because they want the money. For me, the money is great. For me, it's the time. And it's, it's the specifics with the time. Like, I really have a lot of things that I've went through in the past 5 years, like even outside of, you know, the obvious things I've talked about that's happened with my daughter, that I need to heal from. There are things that I'm just not over, and I have to go to therapy. I need to go to therapy. And with digital marketing and setting the schedule that I want, I don't have to worry about what day can I take off to go and do that and go get into therapy, or being able to afford it, because therapy is expensive. And let me tell you, when you're dealing with mental health and you have to go from therapist to therapist to therapist because, oh, maybe these couple months I can afford it, but then I can't, so I stop going, and then, oh, now I can afford it again, but I have to start with a new therapist. It's exhausting. You're repeating your story and your problems like all over and over and over. It's horrible. We do karate. We're a karate family. I don't have to. There was days with karate practice when I had a job where if I had to take off early to go, then I would have to work over and work like 12-hour days just to fit stuff in my schedule. I don't have to worry about any of that. I can schedule a freaking appointment for any of us and just be like, yeah, my schedule's like wide open. See, I wasn't in digital marketing. I was just your average schmaverage person. And I'm reading post and post and post about digital marketing. If everyone's sitting there talking about money and income claims and this and that, I'm not against income claims. I think that I'm okay with people using income claims. I do. I don't think that's all your business should be. But if that's all I saw in people's posts, nothing really would have caught my eye, because for me it was the time and it was the enrichedness of my life that I could have with my schedule being open. I've always wanted more free time, but until I was put in a situation where I didn't have anything to lose and I had nothing but time, I didn't know what that meant to have that free time and what I would love from that, if that makes sense. And those, if people had posts talking about that, that is the stuff I would resonate with. So you don't have to end your stories with, you know, success in this, success in that, or I made this much money or this much sales, because that might not be what's important to people. There was another person that had commented basically just talking about they kind of just made the assumption that digital marketing is too much. It just seems like a lot. It seems overwhelming, and it's prevented them from even really wanting to try. Some of it, you know, we're going to go straight back into mindset. Like, if you tell yourself this is too much, I can't do this, it's too overwhelming, it's going to be those things. In the beginning, it is overwhelming. It is a lot of information. It is more work that you have to do in the beginning, because nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows what you're going to bring to the community. You know, what you're going to offer. Are you going to be trustworthy in business? Are you going to present quality products? You can say you're going to do this, this, and this all day long, but you have to have those few weeks of time to back up what you're saying and show that that's what you're doing. That does take more time. That does take more work and consistency, but it's important because you're building that brick solid concrete foundation, as opposed to most people, they get into this and they just want to go and start selling while they're trying to launch this, this, and this, and do their store and get all the viral products, and they're doing all of it at once instead of breaking it down and doing it one step at a time. And it's so much more possible that way. It does seem like a lot in the beginning, but like it's not hard, you know. It takes more work. You know, my first month of doing digital marketing, which was the month before I reached 10K, I put so much work. That was probably the hardest I've worked in my business, was the month of May. I didn't even touch $1,000 in profit. But I busted my ass. I busted my ass as if I walked out every day with a 10K check, because I told myself in that mindset, this is going to work. Failing is not an option. I don't care how long it takes, what I have to do. That was my mindset. Even though it was a bit overwhelming, it was a lot of information to learn. It was frustrating some days where I'm just sitting there like, okay, what do I do now? And a lot of us that started back then too, back in my day, we didn't have what a lot of people now have. A lot of people, like, you know, this DBA sale that's going on, and people are getting lifetime free membership into my mentorship group, where I have a written out step by step. This is exactly what you do from the beginning. Do this, this, this. There's like 9 steps. And I'm also there to help you while you're in those steps that are already written out for you. We didn't have stuff like that. You know, we had to just like get the information and figure out what to do with it, basically. My point is that the doors are so much more open now for people. If you just take that little bit of time and you look around to see who is trustworthy. Hey, Ange. You see who is trustworthy. Who do you see that seems successful, but they come off as genuine, that your gut feels warm around? You know, don't go to any and everybody who's like, I have mentorship. Because there are those people that get a sale and they ghost people, and they're just not good people. Let's be honest. This is the internet, you know? It is a huge mindset thing, and I wanted to give that example. My example with the mindset is, and I don't mean to like, because I feel like as I'm saying this, I'm not trying to dog anybody that's like, that has a pessimistic attitude, but that is really, really huge. Because if I go back and I think back to that month of May where I worked harder than I probably did my normal 9 to 5. I put the work in. I was studying like I was in college. I was observant. I was formulating posts, doing this. I worked my ass off for very little results. Very, very little results. I did not make a lot of money, but it did keep very slowly growing, and I believed it was going to be something more than what it was, and I kept putting that work in. I woke up every day, and I worked as if I was going to make $5,000 that day. If I didn't make that much that day, which guess what, happened every single day that month, the next day I woke up and I did it all over again, and again, and again, and again, and guess what, that next month I hit 10K. But these people that are beginners, or they, you know, want to get their feet wet and they're hesitant, if you have that attitude of, this looks like it's too hard, you know, this is too hard for me, this is too much for me, it is going to be too hard for you, and it is going to be too much for you. If you say, I don't think I'm going to make it at this, then you're not going to make it in this. You have to wake up like, I am a boss, and I have my own business, I have marble flooring, I got chandeliers up in my house.
Hey, don't yell at me.
It's the same way, like with mental health, okay? And like the way that we're hard on ourselves, and the way that we mentally talk to ourselves about like our insecurities, or thinking like what we're gonna fail at, or, you know, if I go and paint something and I tell myself, oh, this sucks, like, would I say that to my friend who like painted after they haven't painted for a while? Would I look at that and be like, oh, your painting sucks? Why would I do that to myself then? It's the same thing with your business. So those people, you know, and I understand hesitation, I understand being smart and being cautious, but there is not a world where one magical person is going to show up on your post and be glowing, and their words are glowing and full of sparkles and confetti, and they're just going to be the one for you, you know? Like, even if people hop in this live and they like the way I speak about things and they like how I talk about things, one post necessarily is not usually going to sell people. People need to repetitively see you doing the damn thing and showing up, and them getting that same feeling more than one time. So you have to do your part and accept your responsibility in doing some research and being observant, because not everybody can do everything for you. That's why there are businesses that charge to start people's businesses, but that's not what this is. You know, you do still have work and requirements of yourself to get a course that you feel is going to benefit and help you. Maybe pick a mentor and be in their mentorship group. But even those in my mentorship group, they have to put in their work. I don't train people to, hey guys, here's your post for the week, go post them in these groups. No, I'm doing activities, I'm doing you know, pop quizzes, I'm doing like assignments that I want them to do that's going to help them see and understand the why behind things, so that when they go to make their own post, or when they go to like edit an ebook or whatever I've helped them with, they're going to be like, oh, she said this during this, and so this is what I'm going to do with that, if that makes sense. Like, you have to put work in, and if there's somebody that just constantly is in a group and they're like, it just seems like too much, you know, if you think it's too expensive, then it's too expensive. There was another good example of something I heard. It was like, you know, your average person is going to make excuses and be like, you know, well, like, I have these illnesses and, like, I don't really have energy to do this, or, like, oh, my schedule is this, and, like, just all these excuses of why they don't want to do and have their own business or start something like this. But you can literally flip that around with your mindset and say, this, and this is why I need to do this, because I need the free time. Because I have the illnesses, I'm going to do this. Because I need to do this, I'm going to do this so I can have this. Like, you can flip that mindset to literally be the exact opposite. It's kind of like a glass half empty, glass half full type of deal. So again, I don't want to seem like I'm dogging the people that seem hesitant and seem to have questions. Always have questions. You know, don't rush yourself into buying decisions or buying a course. You know, even if you see something and it's like, it's only on sale for 4 more hours. Like, if somebody didn't see any of my posts about DBA up until an hour before it wasn't on sale anymore and they didn't buy from me, I would not be mad at them, because they're making a smart decision to not impulsively buy, but to be smart about what they're doing. If they happen to buy from me, they would make a good decision, but they don't know that because they haven't maybe been following me for a few weeks. I love the what you put, Ange, about literally, if you're in a situation and you didn't have a business and you just had a best friend and they were doing what it is you want to be doing or what you're doing, whether you're a beginner or whether you're, you know, months down the road, like, what would you say to your friend that is in business and how you would want them to wake up and think about what they're doing? How would you motivate and connect with your friend? And whatever that response will be for your friend is what you need to do for yourself. So yeah, I wanted to just hit on that point of, you know, and we see people in tons of groups with similar thinking, and it's okay to ask questions and be hesitant. But you can kind of see if somebody has an attitude. Like, you cannot fix somebody's mindset. You can motivate, like, I can inspire you guys, I can motivate you guys, but I cannot alter your mindset. Your mindset is your responsibility. Even if somebody motivates you and inspires you, when you're not feeling that motivation or that inspiration, then what are you going to do with your mindset? It's a practice. It is, you're in a position, like, I'm just trying to think back to, like, you know, that month of May for me. And then I had a really, really good, successful June month. July was a lot slower than June for me, but it was better than my May. Like, I still made more, you know. And I had to humble myself with certain things and look at the brighter glass full side of things. Ange helps me a lot with that, so shout out to you, girl. But it's just, no matter what's going on, whether you have slow days, good days, like, if you had the best, most successful business day of your business career, that attitude, that feel good that you have, you need to try to wake up and have that same mindset and put in that same amount of work and have that same type of attitude, whether you're doing well or not. And I'm not saying it's possible to do it every single day. Some days are going to have slower energy than others, but don't allow yourself to, like, get into a funk where you're letting it slow you down and it's affecting your results. I feel like this live is about over, but hopefully there was some wisdom in there and stuff.
Coco meowed. Cokie.